And Sega's publishing this game?
Oh my god.
Respond. Bandits inbound.
Ace Combat?
No.
Fox 2. Okay. Existing.
Yep. Ace Combat 8 Fallen Stars.
Fox 2?
Take a look.
Afterburner 2.
It's not Ace Combat, bro.
Yeah, Ace Combat 2, Ace Combat 8 on the water.
Ace Combat 8 on the water.
On the water.
On the water.
Wait! Please no! Please God no!
I might be in the
You might actually be the prophet,
Please
bruh.
God no!
Jan Rex Cope.
Ace Combat 8 on the water, bruh.
Legendary ace of aces.
Brian, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I heard Bandits inbound and I
That's
saw
the
like, I
fucking-
was like, it
Yeah,
might
I
be
saw
Ace
the planes.
Combat.
I'm like, this might be Ace Combat.
What the
Yeah,
fuck?!
this is Ace Combat.
Yeah, this is Ace Combat, bro.
That's crazy.
I swear to God, if this is
my
Assault
God.
Horizon 2, I'm going to kill myself.
Make it home alive.
Just keep at it, Rex.
Oh shit.
Wait, is this Infinity? Is this something along the lines of Infinity?
Make up your kill count to be whatever. Right. From now on, you'll be the greatest ace pilot this war will ever know.
Ace
That's
Combat
crazy.
8 Wings of Fev.
Fev.
Wings of Fev? Fev?
Wings of
Oh, Spy one.
I think.
Dude,
I win.
I just
Coming
got
2026,
Five
boy.
Sixers now.
You better wish list this shit.
Another server for Ace Combat, bro.
Yes, that's
Let's
right.
go.
Ace Combat is
We
back
win.
in 2026. Thanks to Bandai Namco for that.
Jeff Keighley,
The past
you have earned your name back.
Visiting the Game Awards vote
I'm
in
Spy.
Fortnite to help us select.
I Spy, bro. You know what you gotta do now, bro. Now you gotta get a better PC because you
No,
know
you
your
gotta get a
PC can't run
better
that shit,
PC.
bro.
Oh, you bet your ass I'm
Start
getting a
building
better PC, bro.
PC ASAP, bro.
Like what is, like, is it, this could either be like Assault Horizon 2, or it could be Infinity.
Creative minds at Fuse Games.
I can't believe Ace Combat 8 on the water was fucking crazy.
I'm going to
Eight
kill you
on
for
the
that.
water. And you see Bandai Namco produce, Ryan is like, nah, bro.
I'm going to kill you for that, by the way. You're... It is here. It is finally here. Several long years and several demonic rituals later, we finally brought it into being. A trailer for the next Ace Combat game. At first, I didn't think it was actually happening. So I thought it was something else entirely, like Battlefield DLC or some other military game. In fact, I was so mentally on the back foot during this entire teaser, a large number of my first impressions seemed to be unfounded. For example, I thought I was hearing the main character talk. That is untrue. It's all other people's voices and voice lines. And for some reason, I got it into my head that it was like some Infinity thing, which would also be hell, but like a different hell. Now, that doesn't rule out the possibility of Infinity level multiplayer, especially with things that we'll get into a little bit later on. But overall, I am incredibly hopeful for the state of Ace Combat 8. I think they'll cook. I think it'll come out just fine. Alright, so the first thing I'm noticing here with this trailer is that we have, for what is probably the first time in this franchise, actual first-person cutscenes. Now, we could obviously split hairs and say technically 3 has first-person cutscenes, but like, for lore reasons, no. 3 does not have first-person cutscenes, really. And for example, I didn't even notice this was Ace Combat until the Bandai Namco logo dropped. Here it looks like instead of being a regular member of the Air Force, we are a member of the FCU Navy, which is going to be insane. There have been times where members of various Ace Combat Air Forces have had to do like Navy carrier ops. I'm particularly thinking Ace Combat 5, but I don't think there's ever been a game where we started off as in the Navy. And this means that the Super Hornet is the canon airplane. Super Hornet, my beloved. And look here, we got Advanced Warfare guy. I mean, this game takes place in the in-between between the Lighthouse War and the Intercorporate War for Ace Combat 3 in 2040. This game takes place in 2029, I believe. So there is going to be a whole lot more corporatization than in games prior, even with all of the corporate shenanigans that go on in Ace Combat regular. In front of us, like directly in front of us, we have the Yakuza sub-story looking character. The guy who just kind of shows up for like no damn reason with no damn explanation. Probably not going to be the case in game. And right next to him, we have this Spider-Gwen looking motherfucker. Now, I think it's pretty obvious that she's going to be part of our squadron, you know, especially since she appears, you know, directly in gameplay and shit. Right here, a couple seconds later into the trailer, we get to climb into the back of the Hornet. This has never ever fucking happened before. You do not take anything other than the main fighter seat. So I'm wondering if there's going to be some like gameplay that goes along with this, or if this is just first group of cutscenes level shenanigans. Oh, on this Hornet right here, we can see at least these AIM-9s on the outer pylons are the standard missiles. Usually you're only allowed to select one other type of weapon, and all of these pylons would be full to the brim with that other type of weapon. But here, we have both additional AIM-9s, so probably quick air missiles, and on these inner pylons, glide bombs. These are clearly aircraft designs based on the Arsenal bird, right? The propellers, the generally flat bodies, but they also look a little bit like the Agaion. Now, I think these are generally cheaper versions of the Arsenal bird, mostly because in this first one we see here in the middle looks like, you know, some sort of exposed scaffolding. So I don't really think these are going to serve the same exact purpose as the Arsenal bird did. But also, these aren't really an Agaion either. The main reason why they serve the same function as the Agaion is because look here on this one. The first one obviously gets its wings shorn off and it collapses to the ground. But this one looks like it's in a state that is a lot more finished than the first one. Because here you can clearly see an empty internal bay for something. And I highly doubt these aren't, you know, just for cargo transport. I'm pretty sure that looks like a fucking very, very, very short aircraft storage thing. Kind of like you'd see on an aircraft carrier. All right, here's where we see some HUD. All right. It kind of looks like we're going to be able to really zoom in the first person cockpit view. Unless this is just some really good editing on some really high resolution. Second of all, we have distance type, and then we have squadron individual name. Shadow 22 Ares. I'm pretty sure this means there are at least 22 members of Shadow Squadron. The specific one being Ares. Honestly, for me, that just kind of reinforces the whole assumption that those Arsenal bird looking things are Agaion style aircraft carriers. Second of all, in terms of most noticeable, your wingmen will also have these little arrows at the edge of your screen telling you exactly where they are, which is also a brand new feature to the Ace Combat games, as far as I know, because I don't remember seeing any of this shit in 4 and 5. Thirdly, if you'll take a look down your minimap, veteran Ace Combat players will recognize this little arrow D-pad, which means we're getting squadron commands back, baby. Let's go. And then on the right side of the screen, you get your classic layout, but you get a cool little empty line, which doesn't happen in Ace Combat, because top down you got gun, missile, QM. This fourth line doesn't exist. Also, looks like we still have the Ace Combat 7 like flat RWR, and as opposed to like more of a Project Wingman 3D one, which is unfortunate. It also looks like we have an intensely limited amount of flares that I don't think are going to recharge, which is unfortunate again. But, you know, it is what it is. Now we have the really interesting part of the trailer. We have what look to be 2 very high-ranking military officers. And not only that, they're in what is seemingly the single most rural favela in Brazil. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe this officer to be Natasha Obertas from Ace Combat 5. She was a major ranked intelligence officer from the Yuktobanian military. You know, the same one that essentially gave Pops his whole Heartbreak 1 moniker, and the same one that helped you stop the war in Ace Combat 5. Although here in Ace Combat 8, it seems that she is significantly higher rank than just a mere major. Now there's the Bandai Namco Ace Combat 8 website confirming that, yeah, games for PS5, Xbox Series, and Steam, all coming out in like 2026, you know? But the story synopsis is where it gets interesting. Apparently, one of the Yujin countries gets into a war with Satoa over on the motherfucking Yuktobanian continent, which might be why Natasha is there. Additionally, it confirms that the whole Wings of Thief moniker is essentially based off of the Ghost of Kiev, you know, with that being a bit of a legend to keep morale alive. However, in this game, you're essentially making Lie a truth, flying under that moniker and essentially, you know, doing Pilot Jesus shit, saving the world. One last thing I'd like to bring attention to is that on the Ace Combat 8 Steam page, one of its tags is online co-op, something that is very notably not there on the Ace Combat 7 Steam page, because that only has online PvP. And in addition, you know, cross-platform multiplayer, but that was expected off of new Ace Combat title. But this online co-op is making me think that there is either like a separate co-op campaign, or it lets you play the campaign, like the main story, in co-op mode. In which case, me and the boys are gonna have a fucking blast on this shit. Other than that, seems to be really all I got. So, have fun.